Okay, welcome traders to another live Bookmap trading session. I'm your host Bruce Pringle and lead the Bookmap education
to
here.
another live
So we'll upload the live trading and analysis sessions here in the you'll see the recordings there in YouTube, so that you'll have access to those after this webinar is finished. Okay, so let's see the schedule for this week. Tomorrow we have J Trader, Stocks Trader, Wednesday, and then we have Thursday Scott Pulcini, and then I'll round it out here on Friday with the live analysis. Now, what this is all about here is it's free education. It's about order flow. We have an educational course, and then we have the follow-up to that course to put it to the test in the live market. And this is it. All right, the live analysis. Then we have other different traders in here that they will go through their specific ways of trading stocks or for futures. So we're really trying to cover everything. Now, we've grown recently. We have a really robust Discord room. We have Tom B immediately after this webinar. He goes through futures, the S&P E-mini, but volume profile. In the morning at 8:30, we have Rain. He'll go through Bitcoin, USDT. And then in the afternoon, after Tom is finished, we have an options trader, Options with Doug. He will be streaming in Discord. And we also have another trader. It's a father and son's team, and they're looking at algorithmic behavior within the markets. So that's quite a bit. It's all free for you guys. You can really hone your skills on order flow. Very, very happy to offer this for you guys so that you can become a better trader. All right, so let's go through the disclosures. And then we'll jump into the market here. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, let's jump in. Let's take a look here. And we just had data here at 10 a.m. All right, that was the what was it here? Hold on a minute. Let me take a quick look. I think it was Purchasing Managers Index, or no, it was the God, what was it? Supply management. And Purchasing Managers Index there. All right, so yeah, the numbers were not bad. We had the jobs JOLTS opening, which was good at the same moment. So we had a few different kind of important data types. And here's the result. All right, and just right away, look at the liquidity in here, guys. I mean, this is, you just can't make this stuff up. Now, we had a bit of a pause down here and a little bit of a bump here, right? A pullback. Well, I mean, the market knows there's liquidity here. It trades into it down here at this 38.90 level, below the figure 3900, and we get a bounce. Where does the bounce come back to? These areas of liquidity in here. Now, is it, you know, we even had a bounce in here. This is just there was actually something about a campaign, I think, on Twitter for the spookiest chart that you could find. This is rather spooky, like to me at least. I mean, we see some liquidity getting filled in here, but you can see the majority here 1 minute before the event, they're pulling that liquidity. Some people are staying in 30 seconds longer, etc. Some are staying in here too. But the market kind of remembered these areas, and it traded to this liquidity here, and it bounced back to where it dropped from here at 3900. Then it continued, and it traded into and through this at 90, but then it bounced around in here. It's because of these players in here. Okay, so And I don't know how it knows that the market kind of gets a feel for that this is about the right move for the first kind of knee-jerk reaction to the downside here before doing the second leg down. Anyway, interesting stuff. And we can see the follow-through here now. All right, so now we're seeing the sellers come in and hand over fist basically down into 80, this liquidity and through it. So still looking to see if we can go a little bit lower here into 75 liquidity down here. Okay, 75, 73 or 74 here. And we'll see. This is a pretty big stop run in here, as well as high liquidity getting filled on the bid in these areas. All right, so let's see. And we have questions immediately. Good morning, Alan. Where have you been, Alan? Haven't seen you in a long time. Sam, you just added the MBO add-on bundle. You see icebergs. Great. However, you don't get it on the actual chart. Okay, so that's a separate, let me show you quickly on that one and where to go. So first go here to the more button at bookmap.com and go over here to knowledge base. Okay, now you're in the user guide section on knowledge base. You want to go to the add-on section, so click here. Okay, and then you can read through the add-ons in here. And the one you're interested in is the stops and icebergs subchart. You've already got that one. It's the one right below it here. Okay, stops and icebergs on chart. You can download it in here. You'll find the link in here for downloading it. And there's a video, or here's the download link, how to install it, etc. Okay, so that's where you find it. And if you purchased it, you should have access to it via the key. All right, so you just download and install it, and you should be up and running. Okay, so let's see. That should answer that question. Anshul, good morning from India. I don't know. I know that the True Data is working on, for India, do they have the heat map? Not yet, but I know they're working on it. You'll have to reach out to them or reach out to support on details on that. Okay. Okay, Alan, you're looking for that partial profits indicator. Excellent. Yeah. Well, Alan's kind of a unique individual. Like he was kind of a poster boy here for. He said, "Bruce, that's great analysis. How do I use it?" And then we go, "Okay, well, here's how you can consider using it." And we went through a very simple trade example. We will go through that in here, but this is not a trade calling room. And good morning, Ange. And just to look for something that is higher probability, you get in and get out at an area and look for the next one. This is where you don't try to hold on for longer. It's about just building confidence through understanding your own setups. Okay, it might be some sort of level on a higher time frame you're looking at, or maybe it's something else. Now look at this in here. See how we made a higher low and we're getting buyers up here? It's looking pretty good. All right, so let's see if we can we're getting a little bit of a pullback. Okay, let's see if we can get buyer. Now I wouldn't touch it until we get buyers back up here, right? You got to get buyers back up here, right? Because we know liquidity is getting filled on the way down here. Look at this move up. It's pretty strong. Okay, and we didn't get buyers in here, so I stayed away from it. Right, and would I get on the sell side here? No, not yet, because I know that there's some buying in here at the moment, and I would stay away from that. Now I am looking for, if we can get back up above this little area here at 73, and I see that buying, see they're on the bid here. Okay, let's see if they can bring it right back up to this area here that we were just previously looking at. Okay, so I'd be looking for that. All right, and yeah, how would I get involved in this? All right, well, let's take a look here. All right, so I'm looking, we just had sellers here. I need to see buyers back up above here. All right, do we get them? They're pulling here at 75. Yeah, they're on the bid here, 72. They just got filled, so we're not finding those buyers yet, right? So, and this is a counter trend trade. Guys, like if you're still in this on the sell side, stick with it. There is no reason to get out of this. Okay, so in fact, we're looking to see this counter trend trade, and it starts to kind of set up in here. It looks interesting. Here we go. It looks interesting again. All right, do we get our buyers? Do we get them on the bid here? We got to see that. Want to see that. And if they're not, there they are on the bid. Okay, there's our buyers. All right, so they should be able to bring it back up into 80 in here. Okay, and I'm looking for this to work right now. So that would have been my entry point somewhere here around 75. All right, and I would be looking to take some off. Yeah, I'd be stopped out at break even on that. That's it. I'm done for that trade setup there. I'm looking for this to work immediately and come up into 80 and then take some off. Okay, maybe 78, right? You could have said 77, 75 to 77, but I'm looking for more than that in this one here. So just a couple of points I was willing to look pretty good in here. We're waiting for it, so I was waiting for it to come back up and test these ranges here. Okay, which it might do again. Okay, but I didn't lose any money in here, and we're counter trend trading in here in this example. Okay, in the bigger picture, okay, we're still sell side, but you can see this in here. See how it's starting to develop. We can see that we had the data. That was the initial move down. Well, it moved down before that. We trade into this high liquidity on the way down. Traded into, again, this high liquidity in here. Okay, and then in here we see something kind of interesting. More liquidity. Here's the retest down here, and we get buyers down here. Looking pretty good. Okay, buyers back up here. Buyers here. That's where I'm looking to take it up into these levels here. Okay, and looking again now, right now. Okay, let's see if we can get something here. Okay, there they go. This one's getting kind of away from me already, though. It's kind of late to look for that. Okay, maybe a pullback. Now, the bid is not showing very strong in here. We've got to have that, especially on a reversal. Or at least I want to see that. Okay, a pullback to about here or maybe here looks pretty good. Let's put a trend line in there as well. Maybe we're kind of waiting for a deeper pullback here. There we go. Okay. Let's see if we get more buyers here. Nope. Okay, what about another retest back up there? Nope. There they go. All right, so I want to look for, again, buyers in here at 76.5. And I want to see that bid light up as well. Yeah, that would take me into it right there, 76.5. Okay, so I would have been in. Okay, let's call it 77. Okay, so I'm in. I would be looking. Now, this is not a trade recommendation. This is how to look for this order flow event due to what's happening previously here. We're looking at the behavior of traders. Okay, so I'd be looking at taking some off here at 80. Okay, so 77 to 80, about 3 points, and then just take some off. Okay, so this is part of the education. We're putting it to the test. So what I want to cover in here is first, and you notice I'm not putting on a trade in here, and that's by design. All right. Now, I likely, as you guys know, I like to front run this high liquidity typically. So maybe I'd be out here at 79.5, but maybe I'd still be in and look for this kind of 79 3/4 first. Okay, so Anyway, my stop would be at break even at, let's call it 77. Okay. Okay, there we go. Nothing traded there. 6 contracts traded there. Not enough. Okay, so there you go. Stopped out at 77. All right. Now, would I have, in this case, let's just suppose I didn't. Let's just take worst case scenario. I didn't take some off here a little early. I do front run these levels, especially on the first reversal. So that's typically something that I have found works for me because of exactly this scenario here. All right. So did I lose money on this though? And this is, again, we're still kind of counter trend here. It may shape up into a reversal. You can kind of see it here as a head and shoulder inverse pattern here, but not sure. And it's an order flow event. I don't care about it being an inverse head and shoulder. It's that liquidity is getting filled on the way down. We see sellers, we see buyers coming in. They're starting to break some of these structural areas in here, this one. And we're seeing buyers up in these areas here. That's when we put our trend line in. We're just looking for buyers to support some of these price structures. Trend line's okay, but the horizontal line here as well. Okay, so here, this area here. Okay, and then this area here, this is where we're looking for that potential take profit there. Okay. All right, so let's just say I didn't. All right, so I took a couple shots at it. Did I lose any money though? No. Right. Did I also prepare for a move maybe up into 90 here? Yes. Okay, and so this is what unfolded. Now we put that all together and this is, like I said, the counter trend is rather challenging. This is very, very typical here, that a lot of times it just can't do it, and then we get the continuation of the trend. All right. Anyway, we're prepared nicely for it. And note here as well, there's something else that's important here to understand is I have not looked yet at my higher time frame. Okay, for higher probability trades, you want to have some sort of levels to look at and reasoning. Now, it might be volume profile. Okay, come to the Tom B webinar later. He'll go through volume profile. Now, look at this. This is interesting. Down to 70 here, and now we're right back up. Okay, so yeah, would I take a shot at that? Well, it's likely looking even better here to break, but I just don't see the support on the bid here. I don't like it, and I would let that pass by. Okay, so it can be very, very quick move right back down into these lower levels here, and I'm not willing to risk that. Right, even though the order flow looks good for it to come back up into 85 here. Okay, so here they are at 80 a bit. All right, so yeah, we should find these buyers, and they should be able to reach back up into 85, and then maybe 90 here. All right, so we might get a pullback here to 80. Yaman, why does the chart look like this? Yeah, that's a very easy question to answer. So I'll go through that and explain it here. Actually, what you're looking at here in Bookmap is really simple, straightforward data. It is just visualized in a unique way here, and that is the edge, we feel at least, because let me just show you why. So anyway, guys, I'm kind of way out ahead of, and this direction here, looking for potential trade opportunity. and then how to manage it, etc., by reading the order flow in here. This is not a trade calling room. It is an order flow reading room. It is based or it is for creating a foundation in reading and understanding order flow. Then it can be applied to anything. If you're a volume profile trader, great. We've got a volume profile trader. He's awesome. Go to that webinar. If you're an options trader, great. We've got a great options trader in the afternoon. Go to that webinar. So that, Tom B, he'll be on at 11:30. Doug is on at 1:30. Doug for options, Tom B for volume profile. And they're going to be looking precisely at their higher time frame levels and order flow around it. That's what we're here for, and that's what this webinar here is for as well, to provide that foundation. It's about reading the order flow. I am convinced in the way that I trade as well is I think everything is order flow. What we're seeing in here is no different than what we're looking at here on the higher time frame. Okay, now look at this higher time frame move. Rather interesting. This is not only a gap fill here on the 15-minute. This is a 15-minute chart here. A gap fill from the break up above yesterday. Okay, it came in and filled the gap right here. And it went down below this level here. And then now we're starting to see people cover, and we're seeing a little bit of a bounce. Okay, so this might be this is why we should have been looking at the higher time frame to begin with. We were just seeing order flow, interesting order flow around this area in here, and waiting and watching, looking for a potential bounce. Now if we look at this and we start to see that there's some wicks down here and some buying pressure, that looks better to come back up into maybe this level up here. 38.94 or so, something like that. Right now, that's putting the higher time frame into perspective. We're talking again. Look at this big range from yesterday, really choppy. There's a lot of trading activity in here. So we look for it to kind of go back into this trading activity in here. Maybe it just comes to 88. Maybe it doesn't come all the way up to the top of the ranges in here. Whatever. But we'd be looking for it in here. All right, so I feel that the candlestick charts in here, they're fine. They show aggregated data though, and there are real drawbacks to it. All you're getting is open, high, low, and close of a period in here. In this case, it's a time period. And you see volume separated on a subchart. That's horrible. That's just horrible. How does volume help you here? Like, you can, okay, a big spike down here. That's it. That's all you're gaining from it though. In Bookmap, you're looking at one of the first things in here are these volume dots. Okay, and the volume dots are showing precisely where the volume is trading. Red dots are market sell orders. Green dots are market buy. The size of the dot tells you visually how much is transacting there. All right, so let's actually go through and we'll go and revisit and understand order flow on the much higher time frame here by understanding it in here in Bookmap first. Okay, and we'll actually use a candlestick chart. Okay, we'll overlay one here. We'll take off the heat map. We'll take off the volume dots, and let's clear our drawings here. All right, and we're going to take off best bid and offer as well. Here's our candlestick chart. Okay, what you're getting, and in this case it's a minute chart, you're getting open, high, low, and close every minute, every period. You cannot see what happened within that period. It is completely opaque. Open, high, low, and close, that's it. Okay, where's the volume in here? Well, you might have it in the subchart. That's a bit helpful, but still you don't know precisely where it's trading. Okay, so now that's where Bookmap can really break this down, and you can get so much more out of our visualization here. Number one is by showing best bid and offer. Okay, so we're not showing any bar data here. It is aggregated. It does not give you transparency. So let's zoom in here a little bit and I'll show you exactly what I mean. This move to the upside, this is what actually unfolded. Okay, pretty sharp, steep move here to where? To where it broke down from over here. It pulled back, it continued, and then it came back up into this area here, did little pullbacks in here, but it came back up into this area here, which is the top of the range. It slowed down, and then we got more buyers and took it up higher, and they broke the top of the range. It pulled back to the top of the range here again. See those details in here? You cannot see them in the candlestick chart because it's aggregated back and forth within that period. These little details give you good entries or exits or possible trade management. Like for example, here is the pullback here, and now we're finding our buyers here. Okay, and if we find enough buyers right here, just based on best bid and offer, I'm looking for buyers right here, right now, to trade it right back up to 84 here, and then take some off. Okay, just based on just best bid and offer, pure price action in here. Candlestick charts are just getting in the way, to be honest. If you like candlestick charts, that's fine. I don't really mind them either at all. I just think that they don't offer as much transparency. That's all. You know, you kind of read, well, it closed above this, you know, swing, and like, you know, yeah, I'd be looking for more buyers to come in and trade back up to about here, you know, 84. Yeah, you can kind of put that together, but it is the volume that's going to tell you something here. So let's put the volume dots on. Right now, you already know what the volume dots stand for. Okay, so the color and the size. These are the aggressive market buy orders, and that's great. Okay, so now we can see we almost up here at 94. Still looking for it, and see if we can break that, and then maybe get up into our 90 level. So anyway, that's the volume within the price action, the pure price action here. So let's put the pieces together. Here's what actually unfolded. Okay, pretty strong candle here. Lots of volume on it. Okay, and look where the volume's transacting precisely. It's not down here so much, it's up here. That's good. We want that. Here's our partial profit guys at 84, stop to break even, and then still looking to see if we can get higher. Right? So when you see this in here, maybe you'd be looking for a pullback. Maybe it'd pull back to here. It didn't. Okay, it just kept on going, grinding higher here up into 94, and now it's pulling back. So anyway, you can see precisely the details of where that volume is transacting, and that gives you an edge. Okay, you cannot see that in a lot of other charts. So that's what Bookmap is showing here. So I'm answering your question, Yamin. So you understand what you're looking at here. So those are those two elements, and you can look at the context here with the candlestick as well, precisely what's going on within the candle. Okay, so now we see this down candle here the last minute, yeah, not bad. It actually closed below that swing. Okay, maybe we'll find a little more sellers. Maybe it'll come back down, and I would look for it to trade right to here. Okay, not down to here, here, because this is where those buyers came in, and I would imagine they would support it here. You do not see that in the candle. Okay, maybe this little structure in here as well. It's very close to it. So around 77.5 or 78, something like that. Okay, and then maybe we'll see if they support it. Now, how do we know if they support it? Well, who's taking the other side of the trade? Okay, that's what we want to look at here. So let's take a look. That's shown in the heat map. Now, this heat map this is where it gets complex, and we lose people. They just think it's too much. It's really, really simple data here. What we're showing in here is all derived from the order book. These are the limit buy and sell orders over here from your depth of market, your DOM. Our COB column stands for current order book. This is showing liquidity here, these numerical values. These are a number of contracts for sale. These are limit sell orders above the market and limit buy orders down below. So very quickly, You can see it with the histogram and the numbers in here, but it's even easier with the heat map. All we're doing in Bookmap in this current market window, see how 77 just came in with high liquidity, it turned yellow. The scale is up here, red and orange, very high liquidity, then yellow, white, blue, and then black is the least. Now we can start to understand, do these guys want to really be buyers here at 77? See how they're starting to pull a little bit, but they're kind of staying in there. So it looks like they want to be buyers. Right now, see how they pulled there? So now they kind of got cold feet. Right? So now, you know, sellers have to take it down to 76 instead of 77. Okay? That gives you insight here. Right? What did we talk about? We talked about a pullback to right about here. Okay? 77.5. And we're getting insight here. Well, maybe not. You know, we'll have to see quite a bit of buying up here. And then maybe they'll chase after on the bid. Okay, and we're not getting that. So there it is. Now we're getting it, right? It was just, that was all aggressor coming in here and just moving price higher. Okay, but we went through that scenario. We went through this whole scenario. Okay, why might this unfold here at this level? You don't see it in the candle. In the heat map in here, we're getting an idea, but it could have come down to 76. Now, in this move here, it's just, this is all aggressor. They just came in and just lifted the offer very, very quickly. This is a book sweep, in fact. We'll zoom in here and show you the details. This is a powerful move. This is a very powerful move. Like, you know, now we're looking for the continuation up into 90 here. Okay, so yeah, and how would you manage this one? Well, I'm looking for maybe a pullback to about 83, maybe 81, maybe 81. Okay, but maybe it's just 83 because this is a powerful move. There's your pullback. Suppose you got in there at 83, and then now you're looking for 89, 90. All right. Okay, so someone just totally disrupted the markets here and came in here and changed the game. Let's zoom in here. Anyway, let me answer the question first, and then we'll zoom in and I'll show you the details here. But once you start to put these things together and you start to understand this chart here in Bookmap, you know, it really will open up how you can view the market and understand the market on all of these time frames. This here is no different in my mind looking at some of these moves in here. Okay, I just know what's behind some of these moves in here in these charts. Okay, or down here, right? So this powerful move here, we can even look at it in here. Maybe there's a high volume node here around 88 from yesterday, you know, right in the middle here. Maybe you want to take some off there, or maybe you're still looking for that 90 level. That's where the high liquidity is. Okay, because we know it's a powerful move. Maybe it will come all the way back up into like 96 or maybe even 3,900, the figure up here, and retest this area here. Okay, now this starts to get into how you want to manage it personally, and that's something you'll have to determine on your own. Okay, what is your risk parameter? Where are you going to put your stops? How much are you going to put on? Are you trading micros? Are you trading e-minis? Okay, you know, what are you trading volume profile? Did you want to look at a high volume node in there? And then maybe you'd be getting out at 88 instead of 90. Okay, so anyway, that's what you're looking at in here in Bookmap, and this heat map is showing you the behavior of the auction with the limit buy and sell orders, and that's where you can get insight. They're bidding up in these areas here. Our target is here because there's liquidity there, no other reason. I mean, there's some structural elements up here as well, but it's because there's sellers up here. I'm looking for the buyers to reach for the sellers up here, and that's again something you're just not going to see in other charting platforms. Okay, and it really does. I feel it does. It not only does it offer an edge, I think it completes the view of the market because now we know this is where they are. They're up here. Okay. All right. So very long-winded answer, Yaman. I hope that answers your question in detail of what you're looking at in here. Okay, and then how to start to read this as well. We've gone through I don't know, three or four trade examples so far, and they're yeah, a couple were scratches. This one's looking pretty good, and we're looking for a pullback in here. Okay, so we said 83 and then 81, right? So here's your pullback opportunity. Yeah, I'm not much of a pullback trader, to be honest. This makes me a little weary in here. We know that the strong move happened down here, and these are the areas to look for a pullback. Okay, they may come all the way back down here again, but I see some sell strength coming in, and that's where, for a pullback trader, you just place your limit buy order and you're in. And it just makes me weary in here because I know that selling pressure can come in and just move this right back down. Okay, so in the order flow here, I do not see an entry for a pullback here, right? That's another way to look at it in here. So what would be your entry? Well, you start to look at some of these smaller structures in here, okay, in the order flow, and then for some of those to break in here, okay, and they're not right now. The selling pressure is coming in here. Okay, so now they just traded down to this area here at 79.5. Okay, which looks pretty good, and there's still more selling pressure. See how you can, this is what I'm saying with the pullback trading. I know that there's some selling pressure coming in here. I'm not going to get in the way of it, right? I want to be on the strong side here of the buying as it goes up into these areas in here. Okay, so anyway, our powerful move here is still powerful. There's still a lot of buying. They traded up into 84, 85, 86.5, and then now there's pretty strong selling right on the other side, bringing it down to new, well, not new lows yet, but it looks like it wants to, back down to 70 here. All right, so anyway, now you can zoom out and let's take the candlesticks off, and you can look at the bigger picture here as well. Okay, so how does the order flow look on this bigger picture? Well, they're way down here, just before the figure at 3,800, and yeah, up here 39.70, 39.50, and our level here at what would we call it, 80 or 90 here. They're still up here at 90. Okay, now look at the selling coming in now, though, right? Very heavy selling. All right, so it's dwarfing our buying in here. Whereas previously, we had our heavy buying come in here, okay, moving that market. You can see it in the bars, also the dots, and traded in this liquidity and bounced right out of it, okay, at 70. Oh no, it was this move here. I'm sorry, guys. It was this move here around 77.5 or so, right? And that was the strong move. Here's that volume. Here's that volume, right? So now we're looking at that, and can it get back up into 90 up here? And basically it came up to the top of the ranges, a little bit above it, and now it's breaking down. Anyway, we noted that. And we're looking for it to hold and maybe get a pullback in here. So anyway, that was the read here, and then look at the selling now, right? So in context, what I wanted to cover here was the context. There was some pretty heavy buying. Well, it's been dwarfed now by heavy selling. So there's our context. All right, so you always want to look at that context. We had the potential here to come up into 90, and it still may. All right, so that was yeah, lengthy discussion here. 72, 77 looks good. Yeah, we're right down there now. And let's take a look at that higher time frame. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like the swings here. And this, whoops. All right. So let's see here. If you guys can just reply in the chat. Okay, great. Thanks, Doug. All right. Let me get the YouTube up and running here. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. That was catastrophic. And it was OBS that crashed, and it was wicked. It took down everything. So anyway, we're back up and running here, and let's jump right back in. Okay, so looking at the S&P E-mini, I lost everything in here. Subchart. Okay, yeah, I lost everything, my market by order data, etc. Okay, video is up. Thanks, JC. Okay, all right, back at it. Oh yeah, Stan, that single trader in there, yeah, I wanted to see that as well. This move in here, because it was a pretty, we were looking for the potential move here, and I have backfill data now. Oh, that's really a pity. We can't really look at this here. The backfill data is just not as accurate. It does look like a larger player came in and just swept the order book very, very quickly. I'll go with that. I think it's a larger player, but I can't verify that now because it's backfill data. So sorry about that. That's really a pity. How to know more about this and apply to trading? So I think we answered that question, Yaman, or at least we went through many examples in here. That was what I wanted to do for you. Okay. Yeah, that was wicked. I mean, really, I was wondering if my system was going to come back at all. I would highly recommend, Yaman, that you go through our educational course, at least part 1, on our YouTube page here. Just scroll down a little bit, and it is down here, bonus material educational course. View the playlist and go through part 1, at least part 1. This will go through and it will discuss understanding like what makes the market move here, these concepts. It may seem basic. I don't know. I've seen advanced traders not know these things. They've been trading for decades, and this is what makes the market move. It really is. We covered it yesterday in detail. In fact, we have the webinar here that you can take a look at. Let me show that to you. Okay, it's right under here. What makes the market move? Okay, so watch this one. It is understanding at the lowest level here, like transactions in here that make price move, and the order book in here. Who's taking the other side of the trade? Where does the deal happen? These are. It might seem like it's, oh, I'm never going to trade at that time frame. It is no different though when you start to look at the higher time frames on the daily, month, even the monthly chart. Does not matter. The process is very similar. There's just a lot more trading. Okay, and we're looking at the majority of trading. Okay, so anyway, let's continue on here. We've dropped further down to this strong, powerful move here, and a drop down into 65 and just about 62. Boy, it still has that look to it. Like I was still looking for it to come up in a 90 in here. Strong buying, equal here, higher high. We saw that strong move, higher lows in here. Everything is looking pretty good. This is why we go through the scenarios, the various scenarios in here, and understand how to assess the risk through these scenarios. By going through one and saying, okay, well, we'd be getting in somewhere in here, looking for it to come up to here, take some off, or maybe even at the swing, top of the range, take some off and look for the second leg up to here, or, even higher, 3,900 we mentioned. Anyway, that would be the primary scenario by looking at the order flow in here. Secondary scenario is what if it curls around and we get lots of sellers coming in. Now, do you want to be a pullback trader in here? Not really. I didn't want to be. I would have shied away from it unless I found something in the order flow in here that on a smaller time frame gave us something to look at in here, and we didn't get it. We never got it, so we stayed away from it on the pullback trade. Okay, been run over enough on the pullback trades that I have to have another order flow event in here. I like to look for it and then for that continuation. All right, so let's continue on and let's get to any other questions that you have. Gotham, you're welcome for the educational series. Very helpful. Understanding the nuts and bolts. That's exactly what our goal is. It's not about Bookmap. It is about order flow, that education. It really is. Bookmap just visualizes everything, though. That's the thing. We're just showing very simple data here, and then we're just visualizing it. So we went through that in detail because there was a question about it from Yaman. So we went through it. And now you understand what the elements are and then how to read them in context in these areas in here. And we went through some trade examples as well. Okay, so all right, and what's happening now? Well, the seller's bringing it down here and then all this back and forth in here. Kind of a tight range. We are still making lower lows and lower highs, so we just continue with the trend here, looking for 60. Okay, is this it? Maybe not, but there's a lot of selling coming in. Okay, it looks like they have enough selling pressure to trade down to 60 here. There they go. Okay, now it's gone back and forth in here quite a bit. Do they have enough selling pressure to trade down to 55, 50? So are we going to get a move here? Well, let's see. Here's our pullback already. Okay, it can even pull back to here, 64. Now this pullback's working out pretty nicely. Okay, now how would you get involved in here? Well, you'd be looking for your sellers on the other side here. This is a little too small of a time frame. But look at see how we talk about the order book as well being on the offer like this to push it down into this 60 level here. Okay, so this happened really quickly, so it was kind of hard to cover here. But the sellers came in, moved it down. They throw on the offer here a lot of limit sell orders, and we're looking for the aggressors to take it down to 60 and then potentially break it down to 55. Okay, so anyway, that's the pullback trade here, and the entry for the pullback trade is a little more tricky in here. And maybe I shouldn't be going over entries and exits so much today. Just to get a feel for looking at the structure and then the order flow within it, right? And then you can look at that in here, and maybe it's here, maybe it's a little bit more. Boy, I wouldn't. I think I'd be looking for it maybe in here, but certainly down in here. I like it because I know that there's sellers coming in. Now the target's 60 really, so you're not getting much out of that here. There's just not a whole lot of data in here. Probably this is the best one right there at this kind of 62.25. Okay, that selling came in. Lack of buying up here and selling coming in. All right. Okay, we're looking at the S&P E-mini here, but we also connect to stocks as well as cryptocurrencies, okay, U.S. equities. And we connect to Eurex. It depends on the data provider. Okay, when you get Bookmap, it comes without data, so you will need to also get data in order to connect to the markets. Okay, we're just the software, the platform. Okay, so you can get Rhythmic data for $39 a month for just the CME. If you want CME group, that would be $99 a month with CBOT and NYMEX and COMEX. How are the market makers involved in the auction process? This is a great question. The market makers, well, we have some software that's going to come out soon that should also help, but basically there's something called naive market making algos, and it's very complex, all the different algos and the players in the market. Okay, now the market making algos though are there to provide liquidity. That is their job. So they're using limit buy and sell orders, and they are looking for an edge. Okay, so now it's really small time frame stuff, and a lot of those algos, they're on all the time. Now they're extremely efficient and very, very fast. So, and they're called naive because there's not a whole lot behind them. It's not like it's looking at the gold market and the dollar index, and that's like a statistical arbitrage algo, and looking for some sort of information that it has an edge. It knows something. It's an informed actor in the marketplace, and that's very different. All right, so the market making algos, it's just the back and forth in here, like provide some liquidity here, be on the other side here, pull here, and back and forth, play that range in here, and then the directional, they have directional risk though. Some larger player may come in and just do something like this. Right now, this is not a big move, but you catch my drift, and they'll shut off and they'll provide liquidity at a higher level. Okay, so when we see these darker areas in here, okay, like let's see here, what's a good example? Like on some of these higher moves in here, we saw that there was really not much in here. There's market making, there's algos in here, okay, but they're really down here, and maybe some in these areas in here. Okay, so that's where we look, or you can start to look at and start to. That's why, like, it's all about the aggressor up here that can move that market. They can, right? But we want to see on the bid underneath some support in here. If you don't get it, it's easier for sellers to come in and bring it right back down to that liquidity where you find willing buyers. Okay, that's why we kind of shied away for buying some of the tops in here, or selling some of the bottoms in some of these areas in here. because there's no real liquidity in there. Now this was that pullback right in here that we saw, and they are here, right? And then they came in really quickly, though. This happened really quickly here at this 81 and or 61 and 3/4. Okay, so you have the pieces here. It just happened really quickly. Okay, they're on the offer. We don't get a lot of buyers up here. We see sellers here. We come back up here, top of the structure, but it does not break it. And we see sellers come in. We see high liquidity. Here we have high liquidity as your target at 60. It's not a very good example, but I did want to show it as a potential pullback, and then the continuation down into 55, and then maybe 50 as well. Right, so that was the goal with that. All right, so yeah, your market making algos, like you know, I hope I answered the question there. Like I said, there are all sorts of players out there. And in fact, one of the Discord rooms that we had just offered last week, we have some traders in there. You'd have to come over, and they're not streaming in YouTube. You have to come to our Discord channel. But they are they're looking for a very specific algorithmic activity, not market making algos. But larger players, different algos doing different things, and they're looking at those types of algos. All right, they can identify them. They have their own proprietary methods for that, and they're willing to share their levels. It's not a trading room, it's a levels room, understanding levels, then look for the order flow around it. See how they pulled in here, right? So this kind of answers the question as well. These algos in here, they do not want to trade. Sellers can pull through that area pretty easily, and in fact, they're kind of on the offer here, and they trade a little bit. Right now, they're on the bid here. Okay, now what? Let's see if they pull. Okay, and then we see a little more on the offer here. See how this is kind of showing a little bit of strength in here. Okay, it's not much, but it's just that blue tint in here. Okay, it means they want to be buyers in here. Okay, so we're starting to read even these like smaller liquidity providers in here. Okay, now where are the algos up here? Well, they're kind of in here. This kind of blue haze up in this area, up in here, but you know, most of it's up here around the 63 area. Okay, now buyers can very easily move it back up into these areas here because there's not a whole lot of liquidity in here. Right, so that's how you're starting to read this auction process and starting to understand even the algorithmic behavior of these market making algos. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, and you'll see all sorts of algorithmic behavior in here all day long. You know, it's what's nice here in Bookmap is you're kind of forced to see it. It's captured here. Everything is recorded here. You can't escape it. Okay, any liquidity changes are recorded in here. There's one way that it kind of escapes a little bit of that activity in here, is that the S&P is such a deep market that you know, there's other limit orders in here that kind of disguise that high liquidity, some of that high liquidity. Okay, but you'll see, even if we look at, you know, some of these areas in here, see, let me just zoom up here. Actually, see this in here. This is clearly an algo. Clearly, right now it's likely a market making algo. They're providing liquidity up in these areas here. It's pretty far away, but look at this behavior. Pulled that liquidity here, added it here. We're in the order book for a little bit, and then pulled it and added it up here, then pulled it here and then added it down here, and vice versa. Pulled, added, pulled, added. Even this little area in here, pulled, added really quickly, pulled and then added down here, and then pulled it and added it up here, and the same in here. So is it the same player? 99.9% sure it has got to be the same algo that's pulling and adding liquidity around these areas up here. Okay, because you can identify it in here. What are the chances that another algo is doing that? Okay, so it would be weird. So anyway, that's where we can start to read even this player's activity up here. Okay, and where do they want to deal? Well, they're telling us that they don't really want to deal. Maybe they're just kind of queuing themselves in the auction. So they want to be, buyers somewhere between, or sellers somewhere between 63 and 64. Okay, now they're kind of chase after this so they can be in the queue down at these lower levels. Okay, so same algo likely. See how they're pulling, adding, etc. It's all here captured in the order book. Okay, they can't escape that. All right, you'll see other algorithmic activity in here where an ignition algo, we may see one right here. Let's see if we get one in here that kind of starts down here and then tries to ignite stops up into these areas, up into here, 63 to 65. Okay, they're on the bid here at 60. Do we get enough buyers here? Yeah, they see they're pulling a little bit up here. Now they're adding in, pulling again. Okay, let's see, do we get enough buyers then? Right up here, 61.5, and we look for them to trade up into these levels here. See how they don't want to be sellers here. They're kind of in and out of the order book. That gives us some insight. These guys are fickle. The sellers seem to be up here. Okay, so anyway, that's very much zoomed in, but we can zoom out. Okay, and we know, if we zoom out, well, here they are up at 70, and here they are down at 55 and 50. Okay, and we talked about that earlier. Okay, makes sense. Geneve, that's how you say it. That's how I pronounce it, right? It's Geneve. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Let's see. What else? Yeah, Captain Price, you're just looking for the momentum and going with it. Yeah, that's great strategy. Yeah, Gotham, hearing about the market making algos and all this kind of stuff, like, I think it's really kind of overhyped, and also very, very misinformed. I think a lot of people just know that it's a hot button. It's not my fault. Okay, so I still don't know how to pronounce it. Genevieve. Genevieve. All right, I'll get there. Let's see. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry too much about the market making algos, but I would be, I mean, we can see the behavior in here, and look at the, like right now, are they on the bid? Yeah, they're on the bid here. Are we getting buyers? Yeah, we are. Okay, so where are we looking for it to go? Well, it's already kind of testing 65 here where it dropped from. That would be a partial target right here. Okay, so right here would be a partial target. You'd be looking for the break of this one right here, and then your second leg would, maybe it'd be up here, or maybe it'd be here. Okay, so I don't see much liquidity up at 68, but I do see it at 70. Okay, so I'd be looking for, yeah, this move here to trade back up. Let's see if they can get just a little bit more up above here. I like it. I think it's going to trade into 67, 68 here. Okay, so Now, is it really high probability? Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. You can even look for a pullback to this maybe here. It's already pulled back and bounced off of this little structure. See it right here? Okay, there's a little structure here, and see how it's kind of bouncing off of that. Okay, here. Whoops, sorry. Genevieve. Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, that was bugging me. So, all right, it's a beautiful name, by the way. It's very, very pretty. All right, guys. So yeah, I'm looking for these buyers here and looking for them to stream right up to 67, 68, and maybe 70 here. Okay, so let's see if they can pull it. Now, you know, again, it's 65 here is your partial. This is not your entry. Okay, your entry should be, you know, you're looking for the break here. And in fact, you even have an order book flip in here. See how they're on the offer here, and they flip and they're on the bid here. Now that's support. Okay, now see how they're pulling here actually. So, you know, do they really want to support it now? We're kind of getting the answers like, yeah, we're getting kind of cold feet, right? So having this potentially happen, we're open to that because we got the insight here from these players here, the order book, right? So anyway, now that happened rather quickly. However, it happened, and you know, that's where like you kind of have to manage your stop because you're looking for getting in, you know, somewhere around in here or here, and then you start to see that pulling. And you're like, yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, now the buyers are coming right back. And I'm looking for them to go right back to 67 and 68 now. Okay, this was a pullback and a shakeout move, and now we're back up into, and we've seen this move so many times. So it came back to this line here, a little bit below it at our 62.5, and now it's breaking out. Okay, still looking for it, 67, 68, and our 70 level here. All right, so a little tricky right in here. But you can always get back into these, and it still looks good. Still looks good here. Okay, they're supporting it at 66.25. We're finding our buyers in here. Okay, so let's see if they can now break it and trade back up into the top of this range and our 69 and 70 level. Yeah. Well, thank you for Genevieve. Geez, that's embarrassing. It took me a while to pronounce that correctly. All right. Let's see. Yeah, still looks good, guys. See, look at the buyers come in. So still looking for them to try to take this higher. Might be a quick jab down to this liquidity here at 65, but there's still more buying up here. Just a little bit more here, and we can get the break up into our 69 and 70. Yeah, all right, we're getting our jab down to that 65. Okay, let's see if buyers come back in. No. Okay, so this is kind of the truly where they came in and broke it here, right? So, you know, this was kind of the last gasp here, and there is liquidity here on the bid. Okay, it's trading into it. Okay, let's see if it bounces out of there and we get our buyers again. Now, I wouldn't look for it until we get buyers back up at 65 again. right? So we didn't get our continuation move, but we did get back up to the top of the range, right? We talked about it. Top of the range first. Second one, 70, high liquidity. Okay, look at the structure and the ranges in here. Actually, there is nice liquidity here at 67. So that could be also a potential profit or partial profit. Stop to break even. Okay, now selling coming in, and let's see if, and we're below all of that buying right now. So let's see if the sellers can take it down. 60. Yeah, and you'd have to just jump in there at this swing at it here at 60 or 61.5 in here. Stop to break even already. You're looking for it to trade down to 56 and 55 and take some off. Okay, now I went through that rather quickly, but here's the reason why. Okay, we've been through it so many times. We have all of this trading activity up here. We're seeing sellers below it here, and then they start to come in again here. Yeah, okay, well, that's pretty weird. Or pretty normal actually, because there's no one supporting it in here. So we're looking for sellers to now drive it back down to here. Okay, and then take some off. All right, so this now what's nice about this too is we're going with the trend. Right, all the other examples, it was all counter trend. It was more of a struggle. Okay, now again, even down here now, and I'm going to go over this, and then we're going to have like Scott Pulcini come on Thursday, and he's going to go through and say like, guys, don't put your stop in these areas or whatever. And that's the way that he trades. He would probably put his stop way up here, right, if he got involved here. I would likely I look at it very differently, and I try to go through examples in here in order flow, and say like, well, if the order flow shifts and change, take your profit, don't give this back, right? And in here it's telling us something. So it came back to break even stop right already right here, right? And we had a nice winner on our hands here. Okay, so but once you start to see that in here start to evolve, you can, it's an order flow event. We saw the order flow event here. We're looking for our target, didn't reach our target. Okay, and then we have another order flow event coming in here. Buyers back up at the top of the level. The order book, see how the order book is supporting this in here? They're on the bid, they're on the bid, they're on the bid. We're getting buyers here. This is where I don't feel like I want to give this back here. So I will get out here many times. Okay, a lot of times I kind of wait and watch, but this looked like it was strong, so I would just get out. The order flow event is telling me something. Okay, now we did that real time. All right, the explanation took a while to get at, and the price is over here now. However, that was the idea, the concept, and this is where it's up to you guys how you want to trade, right? Scott Pulcini is looking at a stop and iceberg event, and then he's looking for an ATR, like an average true range of a move, and then waiting for that pullback, getting involved, and looking for taking it back down in the direction. Okay, and his stops are high, they're up here. And there's good reason for it. That's the way that he trades, because that's where it should be. With the way that he trades, it's like it should not come up there. It should never come up there. So he's just looking for it to trade back down to 55 and continue on lower, right? But depending on your time frame, and you see another order flow event like this, why give back something? You can take at least a few points out of it. Okay, and flatten. Look for the next event. These events, we're going through as many of these events as we possibly can, so that you can learn from them. guys, if you like this this kind of education, I know we didn't do too much. We went through actually some trade management techniques in here, more than the order flow reading this time around. But we also took a big step back and covered what Bookmap is showing, and then how to start to read it compared to candlestick charts. Okay, so did you find this helpful? Let me I keep on asking this question. This is a little different because this is more basic due to the questions that were coming in. And if it seems to be the what you guys are wanting to hear, a lot of new traders, so we're covering it, and that's that's my job, is to explain these things to you so that you can learn how to read them and look for higher probability trades. Also, part of my job is to educate others, other people that with their trading styles, and they become educators in Bookmap, and they're trading very specific ways. Okay, so this is the foundation. This is based off of the course and reading this in here, and you can take it once you understand these things. You can take it in any direction you want. Genevieve, thank you. Okay, so yeah, give us a like if this is more what you want to go over. Happy to do it. You're using Bookmap on Thinkorswim, Gotham. How is a subscription through Thinkorswim different? So yeah, than the desktop version. Well, there's a lot of bells and whistles here in the Bookmap desktop version. Stops and icebergs. It's rhythmic data for futures. There's more we can do that they haven't gotten to yet because it's integrated within the Thinkorswim platform, right? So yeah, Captain Price says a standalone is the best. Yeah, I'm kind of privy to it as well, or lean that direction, just because the flow in here, the Thinkorswim is good, but the flow in here and the details that we can show in here due to some of the data is just a lot more at this point. But try it out. Try out the desktop for a month, see if you like it, and try out the Thinkorswim version for a month and see if you like it, and compare them, or do it at the same time, and see which one works best for you. The bubble size is just a sliding scale, okay? But if you want the details on it, now there is a reference to it, okay? Graphical representation, and you'll see it in here. You can use this data tip tool here. This big bubble here is for a volume of 243. This smaller one here is 4, okay? And this small one here, that's 8, all right? So there's kind of trades within trades in here, but that's, if you want that numerical value, you can also get it here. Okay, looking good for the sellers to come right back in. Let's see if they do. See how we had exhaustion here? Now they're supporting on the bid. Looking for sellers though, and looking for them here, and then drop it to 58 all the way down to 55 here. Now, one of the things, we're at the European close. We're going to get some volatility. And where are they? They're selling up here at 62. They're buying down here 58 and lower. Buyers taking it right back up, top of the range. You're right. This is not the European close. I'm sorry about that. I forgot about the time frames. You are right. Yeah. So is it it's in another hour, or did it already pass? What time is it in London? Oh yeah, so we got another hour. Okay, got it. Yeah, we'll change on Sunday, right? Yeah, thanks for that. Interesting to see those buyers. Like I thought the sellers would take it down here. Buyers clawing right back to looking for 65 again here. Yep, looking for it. 65. There it goes. And let's see if they can really move this now. So we're seeing some buy strength come in. They just traded into our level or high liquidity here at 65. And we're getting an immediate pullback here. How, Stan, how significant is the European close? Well, usually like, there's a significant amount of players that are, using this instrument for many different things in this S&P. Yeah, a lot of times what you'll see is like some erratic behavior for about 10 or 15 minutes, just like the close in the US. But there's, quite a bit more volume trading in the US close. So it's not, it is impactful. And you will also see many times that the move that you were looking for that whole session to unfold after Europe closes. Okay, so they're doing all sorts of different things and it's going back and forth and blah blah blah. Like right now, look at the buyers. We're back up to the top of the range in here, and we're finding buyers, so they should be able to. It looks like a pretty good move, right? We're getting a pullback here, but I'm looking for those buyers to come back in up here and trade up into 70, and then maybe we can get that kind of bigger move we're looking for. Boy, the first move is 70 for sure. Okay, and there's a lot of price action down here at 70, and then looking up into the next potential move. Well, there's a few areas. I don't see much liquidity here around 78, but there's also up here at 80, 90. Okay. Yeah, if you see something that looks a little weird and you want to avoid the back and forth and the chop, I would recommend either, if you're in a trade during that European close, like just make sure that it's going in your direction, or you might want to maybe scale out a little bit. There's different ways to manage it, or maybe just exit and wait. But yeah, it depends. It's a weird time right now to give any kind of, it's always hard, but we have some major data coming out tomorrow and then on Friday as well. So we got FOMC and we also have non-farm. So this is going to be a big week. Okay, we had data this morning, and we saw the reaction to that at 10, right in here. Okay. Really, that's all it could do? Looked like a pretty strong move. It pulled all the way back to our level. We still may find buyers in here. But anyway, I don't really see an edge here. Yeah, there's buyers in here, there's sellers in here, and we're right in the middle. So not really seeing much right now. Sebastian, how useful is Global Plus without stops and icebergs? Yeah, this is a great question. Stops and icebergs, I think, is amazing transparency. It is showing the order types that are transacting, iceberg orders and stop orders. And I'm amazed by it, to be able to see that kind of data. That's the market by order data from Rhythmic, and the MBO bundle that is sold separately. That's not a part of Global Plus. Works with Global or Global Plus. And it's sold separately because it's very specific. It's for the futures markets, US futures, and you have to have Rhythmic data. So it won't work with stocks. It will not work with most of the crypto instruments or exchanges. I think all of them actually, but some of them do have market by order data. Anyway, we always, Sebastian, we always talk about it as a confluence. It is not a signal. Okay, now Scott Pulcini does use it as a signal, but in a different way. He's waiting for a big order flow event via stops and icebergs, because that's the insight, and then he's looking for the order flow around that. So my point is, the order flow is the most important part. Stops and icebergs are a subset of that. They are a confluence in that. Okay, it is not a signal in that sense. So look at this here. Well, we have some selling icebergs, we have some buying icebergs. All right, well, how much is that giving us right now? Not too much. We see a stop run here. That makes sense, up in the swing up here. But what I'm kind of keyed on is buyers versus sellers in here in the order book, as well as the aggressors, the dots here. And I'm looking at specifically this structure created by the price action back and forth in here. Okay, and are there more buyers than sellers in here? That's what I want to know. Where in the structure here, see how they made a lower high here? Okay, that's not good. I want to see it trade up here, and I want to see buyers up here. Okay, and we're just right back in the middle of the range here. Okay, so I still don't see much in here, and I'm not getting much out of stops and icebergs at the moment either. We have a stop run up here, right in here, and then we have these icebergs buying in here. So it's kind of a back and forth battle at the moment. Okay, look at this though. See how the buyers have a clear path here? They just need to start buying. These guys pulled, so we're looking at 68 on up to 70 here. But they didn't take it, so it's short-lived. Buyers came in, sellers came in, brought it right back down. Now here's sellers can drop it down into our 62 level here. They were showing on the offer, so it's just really back and forth right now. Okay, and see how there's not too much liquidity in here. Like I said, this was about the market making algos. There's not a whole lot of liquidity in some of these areas here. Now we're getting some insight. Look at this, 65.5 to 66. That's actually one player with about 100 lots there, we saw 3 lines in there. Here, let me show it to you again. Okay, that's our large lot tracker, that little white line right there. So we know that's one individual actor that provided that liquidity. Now we can answer a question: did he trade, or was that a spoof? It's hard to say, because it totally looks like a spoof, but some of that transacted here, so it's not really a spoof. Boy, back in the day, like about 10 years ago or so, you'd see stuff like this and they'd never get filled, right? They would just like be all over the place. It was just so blatant, and trying to manipulate the order book and get price to do something. That was the game, and it's still the game. Okay, so you can see what ended up happening here. We're getting our follow through down into 62 and then some. Okay, really quick move. Okay, so Chu, you're looking for the MBO, so this is the cheapest way to get it. Get global, Bookmap global. Get Rhythmic. Okay, you have to have Rhythmic, and get the rhythmic for just the CME if you trade the stock indexes. So that'd be 39 bucks. So that's, let's say 40 bucks for rhythmic. It would be 50 bucks a month for Bookmap. So there's 90. And then you got to get the stops and icebergs indicator. Yeah, nice stop run, Captain Price. Beauty down here, big one. There's our 55 finally, and looking for 50. So let's see, we're at 90 bucks, and then the stops and icebergs is 134 a month. Okay, so let's just say 130 plus 90. So you're talking, 220 basically. All right, and then now you can, this is where you can start to put the pieces together though. So if this is a stop run into this area in here, and you see icebergs on the other side, let's see if they can drive it right back up to, well, they're already there, to here where it dropped from, maybe even here or here, okay, where it dropped from. Okay, so here's our context in here, stops and icebergs, and this is how it can help you, is understand that context. It's not a signal in itself. Okay, we want to see buyers climbing and moving this higher. Okay, so it already made it to this area here. Okay, let's see if they can still move it further. All right, guys. Well, let's see here. We covered many different things, answers a lot of questions in here, started with the elements on the Bookmap chart and then reading them and then going through some trade examples as well. Again, based on our structure or our educational course here. Okay, go to part 1 of the educational course and understand the basic market mechanics in here and what makes price move. This will be a game changer. It should be. It should be very, very helpful to understand these things because it truly is what makes the price move. And then once you start to understand these elements in here, like the players in the market, now we can look at the order flow in here and put the pieces together to look for something that makes good sense. So for example, let's suppose you're a buyer, well, at 55, let's say, and you see the selling into this area here, okay, and the back and forth around here. But look at this, buyers coming back in. Okay, can they make it up here? Let's see. Okay, I don't think it's a high probability. It may do it here, just because we see them coming in. Okay, but we really need to see a distinction. We want to see some real strong buying in here, and then these moves are more likely to unfold. Okay, and that's here in the order flow. The stops and icebergs gave us good insight to this here in that area. Okay, now look at here, right here. If we get sellers here though, right here, okay, this is where the buyers came in and they're not supporting it here, so I'm looking for sellers now, and let's see if they can drop it right down into here at 53.5, then 51, and then 50. Okay, now we got a little bit of a drop, but I don't see those sellers yet. Where are they? I need more, a lot more here. They're the ones that move the market here. They got to show up. Okay, if they don't, you watch this. You'll see buyers come in here, and they'll move it right back to 57.25, maybe up to 58. Okay, or even 59 here, where the liquidity is. Okay, so again, these are the scenarios going through by understanding these areas in here and the order flow around them. All right, guys. So let's call it a day. We will be in tomorrow for about 10-15 minutes before JTrader gets in. So we'll go through more order flow here in Bookmap, and that should set the stage very nicely for JTrader to come in and look at some stocks, and he'll go through his analysis and the way that he trades. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel here. Hit the like button, and you can get alerts, etc. And we will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Thank you, Alan, JC, Genevieve, Pro K. Yeah. Thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Have a good day. Bye bye.